What's your English level? Take this test. The Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, that is CEFR, is a guideline used to describe achievements of learners of foreign languages across Europe and increasingly in other countries. It divides language proficiency in 6 levels, which goes as following. So today we're going to test your proficiency in English language and find out which grade you fall under. Do you want to know your current level of English? Let's find out. There will be 30 questions in total, divided in 3 categories: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And for every question, I will be allowing you 5 seconds. There will be options in every question. You pick your answer and then we will discuss the answer along with the reason behind the answer. Okay. After the end of each level, you'll be able to self-evaluate according to the CEFR grading scale. Let's start with the first level. There will be 3 options and you'll have to choose the correct one. All the best. Rohan lives in an apartment on the 4th floor. Rohan lives at an apartment on the 4th floor. Rohan lives in an apartment at the 4th floor. Rohan lives in an apartment on the 4th floor, which is option A. When talking about where someone lives, we use in for cities, states, and countries. On for streets and floors. At is used to indicate a specific location, point, or position. Rohan is at the library, so this is his specific position, his specific location. He have a new laptop. He has a new laptop. He has new laptop. He has a new laptop, which is option B. In the simple present tense, we use has with he, she, and it, and have with I, you, we, and they. Like they have a new laptop. Question 3. She speaks very clear. She speaks very clearly. She speak very clearly. She speaks very clearly. In this sentence, the word clearly describes how she speaks. That means it's an adverb. And to make an adjective into an adverb, we add at the ending an ly. Beautiful becomes beautifully, careful becomes carefully, slow becomes slowly. The sentence can be phrased, her speech is very clear. Speech is a noun and clear is the adjective. Very is an adverb modifying the adjective clear. So adverbs modify other adverbs, adjectives, and nouns. They are multi-purpose. So we are saying the same thing in shape of an adjective rather than an adverb. She speaks very clearly. So clearly is an adverb. Her speech is very clear. Now here clear is an adjective describing her speech, which is the noun in the sentence. Next one. I doesn't like horror films. I not like horror films. I don't like horror films. I don't like horror films. To make a sentence negative in the simple present tense, we use don't for I, you, we, and they, and doesn't for he, she, and it. Next one. Where is the most closer metro station? Where is the most close metro station? Where is the closest metro station? Where is the closest metro station? In this sentence, we are using the superlative form of an adjective. So we add the ending est, est. Most is used only when 3 or more syllables are present in a word. Most challenging, most educated, most difficult. So these are all 3 or more syllable words. So we can safely say the word has to be slightly big in order to use most with it. This is the most short way to the mall. Incorrect, because short is not 3 syllables or more. Are you going to visit them next week? Are you going visiting them next week? Are you going visit them next week? Are you going to visit them next week? When talking about future plans in English, we use going to followed by the base form of the verb. Going to judge, going to receive, going to talk to him tomorrow. Okay? So base form, talk, judge, walk, all the base forms have to be used. Did she finish her homework last night? Did she finish her homework last night? Does she finish her homework last night? Did she finish her homework last night? In this sentence, we have a past marker word, last night. That means we're talking about a past event, which means we should use the past simple tense. To ask a question in the past simple, we use did. A few examples of past marker words are yesterday, formerly, ago, previously, once. These are all past marker words which tell you about the thing that is being talked about happened in the past. It's a past event. She can to drive a car. She can drives a car. She can drive a car. She can drive a car. Can is a modal verb. It signifies ability. Words like should, could, will, may, must are all modal verbs. The infinitive form of a verb is its basic form and often preceded by the word to. Example is to run, to eat. So option A is incorrect because it is using the infinitive form of the verb. Drive to is incorrect. It should be the base form. She can drive. There is some sugar in the bowl. There are some sugars in the bowl. There is many sugar in the bowl. There is some sugar in the bowl. Sugar is an uncountable noun like water, milk, or gas. When talking about quantities of sugar, we can't use articles like a or the. And we can't use many because it refers to multiple items. Some places people say, give me a sugar, which means give me a kiss or a sweet gesture. When someone says, give me the sugar, he isn't referring to the quantity of sugar. He's just saying, pass me the container of sugar, which is okay. So this is one example where you can use the for sugar as an article. Next one. He moved to the city before 5 years. He moved to the city 5 years ago. He moved to the city 5 years back. He moved to the city 5 years ago. When talking about a moment in the past, when something began, changed, or ended, we use the word ago. Now let's grade you for the beginner level. If you've got 6 or more correct, you get a level A1 or above. And if you've got 9 or more correct answers, then level 2. Now let's move to the intermediate level. She took a decision. She did a decision. She made a decision. She made a decision. In English, certain words often go together. These are known as collocations. The correct collocation for decision is make. She took a decision, though understandable, is not a very natural way of saying it. A few more examples of collocations could be deep sleep, heavy rain, fast food, take a break. So you don't make a break, you take a break. Next one. Did you seen this movie? Have you seen this movie? Do you seen this movie? Have you seen this movie? We are talking about the past, but there is no specific time mentioned. So we need the present perfect tense. This tense is used for anything that has happened in the past at an unspecified time before now. The form used for past perfect tense is this. Seen is the past participle form of the verb see. The past participle is a verb form used in perfect tenses in all three, past, present, and future. I have eaten lunch is another example where eaten is past participle of eat. Next one. If it rains, we will stay home. If it rains, we stay home. If it rains, we would stay home. If it rains, we will stay home. In this sentence, we're talking about a condition that might actually happen. So we need to use the first conditional structure. First conditional structure is used for real and possible situations. And the form of the sentence looks like this. If plus present simple tense, and result in the future tense. Example sentence is, if it rains tomorrow, we will cancel the picnic. So if is with present tense but result, we will cancel the picnic, is in future tense. Moving on. She bought a 5-year-old car. She bought a 5-year-old car. She bought a 5-year-old car. She bought a 5-year-old car with hyphen. In English, we can connect two words with a hyphen to create a compound adjective. When multiple words function together to describe a noun, they are usually hyphenated if they come before the noun, which is car in this case. For example, 5-year-old car. So in this case, 5-year-old is a compound adjective that describes the car, and car is the noun in this case. So it should be hyphenated and singular. 5 years old, incorrect. 5-year-old. Okay. The meeting was called over. The meeting was called out. The meeting was called off. The meeting was called off. To call off is a phrasal verb meaning to cancel something. For example, bring up means to mention a topic. Carry on means to continue. Break down means to stop functioning, which is for machinery. My car broke down. Moving on. She doesn't like chocolate and so do I. She doesn't like chocolate and neither do I. She doesn't like chocolate and so have I. She doesn't like chocolate and neither do I. We use so and neither when restating a phrase with a new subject. They are used to express similarity, so and neither, both. However, so is used for positive phrases and neither is used for negative phrases. She loves reading books and so does her brother. They were excited about the trip and so were we. She doesn't like coffee and neither does he. She had been traveling for hours when she reached the city. She has been traveling for hours when she reached the city. She had been traveling for hours when she reached the city. She had been traveling for hours when she reached the city. Option A indicates that traveling had been happening for a period of time before she reached the city. If she studied more, she would pass the exam. If she studied more, she will pass the exam. If she studied more, she passes the exam. If she studied more, she would pass the exam. This is a second conditional phrase describing an imaginary or unreal condition. So we need the form if plus past tense and would plus the base verb. If I won the lottery, I would travel the world. Imaginary situation. If this happens, I will do that. Okay. So if plus the past tense and would plus the base form of the verb. Travel in this case. If I ate any more, I would vomit. So vomit is the base form of the verb. I saw her at the mall some other day. I saw her at the mall another day. I saw her at the mall the other day. I saw her at the mall the other day. We use the phrase the other day to describe an event that happened at a general time in the recent past. It was raining the other day. They had a fight the other day. So it happened in the recent past, but the time is not important in this sentence. It doesn't matter if they were fighting in the morning or in the evening. He was used to working in a factory. He used to work in a factory. He was used to work in a factory. He used to work in a factory. We use used to plus the base form of a verb to describe something that happened regularly in the past. I used to eat an apple every day. She used to sleep a lot. Now let's find out your grade. If you've got 6 or more correct answers, you are level B1 or above. And if you've got 9 or more correct answers, then your level is B2. Congratulations. Moving on. Let's move to the advanced level of the questions. And don't worry about the questions in this level. They are going to be slightly higher. Don't worry if you get a few wrong. It's okay. It happens to most of us. Having led the project for years, she was confident in its success. Leading the project for years, she was confident in its success. Having to lead the project for years, she was confident in its success. Having led the project for years, she was confident in its success. When a sentence begins with a verb, we use the gerund form, which is verb plus ing. Eating, okay? Eating is gerund form of the verb eat. Eating healthy is good for you. Celebrating is natural after such a big success. When this gerund refers to the past, we use the perfect gerund form, which is having plus past participle. So here's another example. She regretted having said those words. Here, having said is the perfect gerund, showing that the action of saying those words occurred before the moment of regret. He was an abysmal storyteller. One of his stories was even picked for a movie. He was an atrocious storyteller. One of his stories was even picked for a movie. He was a virtuoso storyteller. One of his stories was even picked for a movie. He was a virtuoso storyteller. One of his stories was even picked for a movie. Virtuoso is a person highly skilled in a particular art. Abysmal, on the other hand, means extremely bad. And atrocious means something of very poor quality. Both these words do not fit in the meaning of the sentence. When the project failed, he decided to let the cat out of the bag and quit the job. When the project failed, he decided to hit the nail on the head and quit the job. When the project failed, he decided to throw in the towel and quit the job. When the project failed, he decided to spill the beans and quit the job. When the project failed, he decided to throw in the towel and quit the job. Throw in the towel is the correct idiom for giving up or quitting. The other idioms, while correct idioms themselves, are not appropriate in the context of quitting the job. Let the cat out of the bag means to reveal a secret. Hit the nail on the head means to describe exactly what is causing a situation or a problem. Spill the beans means to disclose secret information. He's totally over the breakup now. He's totally under the breakup now. He's totally above the breakup now. He's totally over the breakup now. To be over something is a phrasal verb meaning to have lost interest or concern about something. By the end of the year, she has completed her degree. By the end of the year, she will have completed her degree. By the end of the year, she will have been completing her degree. By the end of the year, she will have completed her degree. The future perfect tense is used to describe an action that will be completed before a specific point in the future. It is often used to indicate that one event will have been completed by the time another event occurs. So in this case, by the year ends, that means this is an event of year ending, she will have completed her degree. It was presumptuous of him to assume he would get the job. It was precocious of him to assume he would get the job. It was perilous of him to assume he would get the job. It was presumptuous of him to assume he would get the job. Presumptuous means to be too bold or outspoken, assuming something without right or permission. Check out the meanings of the other two words here. Next one. He decided to let the cat out of the bag and not get involved in the argument. He decided to spill the beans and not get involved in the argument. He decided to sit on the fence and not get involved in the argument. He decided to sit on the fence and not get involved in the argument. This option correctly uses sit on the fence, which means avoiding making a decision or taking sides in an argument. The essay should be no longer than 2000 words. The essay should be not longer than 2000 words. The essay should be no more long than 2000 words. The essay should be no longer than 2000 words. When negating a comparative adjective like longer, we use no, like no longer, no bigger, no faster. So we are trying to compare two things. This is a comparative adjective. Faster, bigger, longer. You're saying this in reference to something. And that is when you use the word no when you are negating a comparative adjective, which is longer in this case. They called away the picnic because of the rain. They called off the picnic because of the rain. They called in the picnic because of the rain. They called off the picnic because of the rain. To call off is a phrasal verb that means to cancel or postpone an event. If she left earlier, she would have avoided the traffic. If she had been left earlier, she would have avoided the traffic. If she had left earlier, she would have avoided the traffic. If she had left earlier, she would have avoided the traffic. This sentence imagines the possible outcome of an unreal situation in the past. So we use the third conditional form. The format of a third conditional statement looks like this. Now let's find out your grade. If you've got 6 or more correct answers, you are level C1. And if you've got 9 or more correct answers, you are level C2. Share your level with me down below in the comments and share this video with friends and family you care about. I'll see you in the next video. I'm really excited to find out your result. Take care. Bye-bye.